Where? When you're doing a recording, when we're doing a Zoom meeting and you want to record somebody's presentation, like I just did here, is record early, let it go, include the evaluation portion, then they have it, and then shut it off. Then start another one so that the guy who's Akeem, our dear friend who takes care of it, can edit it easier. If you just record the whole friggin' meeting, it takes forever to edit, unless you have that time. I don't know how many people got to walk around with a pocket of forever in their pocket. Speaking of people with pockets and stuff in their pockets, our next presenter, fun lady, neat lady. I don't know where she gets her stuff from, other than working around people at Disney. Our next presenter, Sandy DePrimo. And Sandy tried to outsmart me. Just a little feedback in the background here, just so you know. She tried to outsmart me. She actually put together an introduction for me. She knows if I don't have an intro, I get to write my own for her. I know just enough about Sandy to introduce her that way. Today, her presentation, Sandy DePrimo, using pathways, engaging humor, a level 3. It's a 5 to 7 minute presentation. Her title is Who Owns a Cat? Who owns a cat is a question that often leads to intriguing discussions and stories about unique bond between humans and their feline companions. Whether you're a devoted cat lover, considering adopting a feline friend, or simply curious about the connections between the human and cats. Join us on this journey to discover who truly owns a cat and what it means to be a part of their world. Thanks.
Muted.
The cat got her tongue.
It was one Saturday morning. Early, the door flings open, and I hear the dog barking. Oh, like crazy. I have a 50-pound dog. In walks my sister with a pet carrier and a little tiny angel named Nyla. Nyla quickly discovered the cat when we opened the door to the pet carrier, and all of a sudden, this little angel turned into this. She was not happy, and she made it clear that no one owns Nyla. Nyla owns you. Her reaction was so bad towards the dog. She hissed, she moaned, and then she took her little 9-pound body, got under this 50-pound dog, and started punching him like she was a crazy person. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a Category 5 storm. Because guess what? Nyla wasn't done. Nyla didn't like storms. And it happened to be storming that day. The thunder started. So she went and hid under the couch. We got her out and put a thunder jacket on her. Has anybody ever seen a thunder jacket on a cat? She was not happy, first of all, that Queen Nyla had matted hair here, poof here, and poof on her butt. That did not make her happy because she did not look like a queen. But then she realized, oh, you can see it in her eyes. Oh my God, I can't move my legs. She thought she couldn't use her legs. So she stood there in fear. And all of a sudden, she went like a cement block over on her side. And because we were laughing, it made her more mad. This cat had been in our house probably an hour before she was already mad at us and ready to make our lives miserable. But She's still our little angel. Didn't you know that? But she owns the castle. So we got the jacket off of her and we decided it's time for her to eat. Maybe she's hungry. I happened to go to the cabinet and pull out a can of tuna fish. Didn't even open the can of tuna fish. And she was up the counter screaming at me like this. I had never seen anything like it. I owned a cat for 19 years. They never did that. She sounded like she was saying, mine, 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 mine. I got into a fight with a 9-pound cat. I gave her a little bit of tuna fish on the spoon and I put it in her bowl. She looked at me. I'm not eating that. You could see the wheels spinning. I need lobster with that, and I need a little bit of Grey Poupon. That's what I picture her saying. And she walked off and stubbed me after she yelled at me for an hour. Oh, this was war. Nyla came back a little while later when I wasn't looking and ate it all. And what she wasn't telling anybody, although she was a queen of the castle, she was also made friends with the dog, but she didn't want us to know that. So she would walk up to him, she would walk up to the bunnies, look at us with those little sweet eyes, stick her little paw out and smack them all. But when you go in the other room and you find the dog asleep on the bed, you find Nyla on top of the dog going shh, asleep too. You know, thinking, oh, Ernest Hemingway was right. A cat's intelligence should never be underestimated. She's a smart little kitty, and she's a little troublemaker. One day we're going to find her behind bars. And look at my little queen, my little princess. This is what she thinks she is. She thinks that she's a princess. She's the queen of the house, but we got her number. So what I'm telling you is if you ever want to buy a cat or you ever get a cat from someone else, you don't own them. They own you, and it is their house. So watch out. Thank you.
There's so many things you could say. We're going to hear about a few of those things. I love it, Sandy. Let's have a timers report real quick before we do our evaluations.
In 5 minutes and 28 seconds, so very well under time.
Oh, 120.
Marvelous. All right, marvelous. Let's hear from our facilitator.
Okay. Let's start out. Sue, I'm going to give you double duty. Sue Lighthoff, followed by Oscar.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm going to pass on it because I'm actually doing triple duty by timing and taking notes. And so I really haven't been listening to anything. Sorry.
All right. Oscar then. And our guests, Carol and Deanna, would either of you like to provide feedback?
Yes.
Okay. And Deanna, is that good with you? All right. So Oscar, let's start with you. 30 seconds of what you liked and a what if.
Yeah, I love the story about Cat. I think we can all relate to that. And the backgrounds are fabulous. It makes it come alive with all those wonderful things. And then the contrast between this angel and the demon, and with the bottom line, you don't own them, they own you. Which I think we all know is true about these cats. They really have their own little control issues going on. So there were wonderful little stories in there, and just even using those analogies with Grey Poupon and just turning her back on you and doing everything that you didn't want her to do. Now the only thing there, maybe there's an opportunity to to bring in a few more cat noises.
All right,
A
thank
little
you,
hissing and a
Oscar.
little snarling.
Thank you, Oscar. Now we'll have Carol, followed by Deanna, followed by Gloria Darling.
Yes, thank you, Sandy, for giving us such a humorous speech, which I've never heard before of such a wonderful cat, a cat story. And this is very different from many other speeches. I like the way you spoke with a good pace. You gave us time to think and laughed it out. Very good humor here and there with lots of analogies. Only that, don't make it too serious. At the end of the speech, give us something that is more humorous to close off. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Carol. So now let's have Deanna, followed by Gloria, followed by Linda Ramrath.
Thank you, Sandy, for telling us some stories about you and your cat. This is my cat lounging just this morning out on our screen porch, and they do entertain us well. I thought you did a great job of switching your backgrounds. I know that is a pain on Zoom, and sometimes we get stumbled and fumbled over our words and start talking to the computer. I think you were really good at doing that, and your transitions, wrapping everything up. It sounds like you're a very accomplished speaker, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Deanna. Gloria, followed by Linda Ramrath, and let's see if we have one more, maybe Francine.
All right, Sandy, I really appreciated this speech. You are a terrific storyteller, and you have great vocal variety and all this good stuff, gestures. They say people spoke about your background. I would have preferred from the point of view of your little princess cat, because your voice and your storytelling techniques would have worked so well. The little princess could have been telling us, wow, I'm ruling the house. That's what I would have preferred to see. Thank you.
I'll work on that. Thank you.
Great, Gloria, Linda, and Francine.
I thought it was entertaining. There were a few bits of humor, like when the cat was punching the dog, and you said like a crazy person. No, it's like a crazy kitty.
Yeah,
Or-
like a crazy kid.
And you got into a fight with a 9-pound cat and lost. You know, you didn't finish the sentence. So I really liked a lot of the humor. There was a lot in there, and everything else that people said that they liked was what I liked too.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, Linda. And lastly, Francine.
Sandy, as you could see, you spoke to me. These are only 4 of my many cats. What I would love to have heard was a little vocal variety in there. The fight with the cat, he or hiss or something, and I got in a fight and the cat won, and you could have acted like you had band-aids on and were bleeding, and you could have really taken that to the next level. So I would love to have really seen a little more physical humor, but then again, that's my style. So that's just me. Back to you.
All right,
Thank you.
Francine.
Arjane.
And returning control now back to Tom.
This story is a challenge for me, I have to admit. See, I've been picking on cats and cat lovers since I was about 3 years old. So to follow Sandy with that, without throwing in a fun cat story, I'll leave it alone because you can think about it.